teams have already gone for that coin toss. We do see actually Dota 2 Friends winning that coin toss, so we'll see what they decide to pick here. Do you guys have any preferences with this? I see a lot of teams, have their own sort of preference for second or first pick, specifically.
Yeah, for my team, I normally prefer second pick. Just because the way I like drafting. I'm not going to go too deep into it. No, I don't want to give too much information away. But let's just say, in terms of drafting, second pick, in my opinion, is just a lot better.
Yeah. Obviously you do end up getting last pick if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's that, and also first phase. First phase, you also pick second. So if you see it's like a decent game for a certain hero, you can first phase it and then just ban all the heroes good against it in the second banning phase. So that's also something that makes it better, in my opinion.
That's probably the biggest thing that you're looking for when you decide whether to go first or not. And then, but for me, I think that like the map itself, like Radiant versus Dire, you don't really care that much, right?
Yeah.
You've played the game a billion times, so you don't really care anymore which side you're on.
It looks like we're going to be jumping into this game, guys. So I'm just going to play the versus screen and then hand over to you guys. Enjoy it, and I'll see you guys at the end of this match.
Ooh. Awesome.
So we see Dota 2 Friends that opt for the second pick here. The Viper ban, that's...
I think they obviously want to go for something a bit more standard and straight up in the meta.
Yeah.
They didn't ban the Rubik though, so could they maybe looking to pick it up, or are they just going for the Drow with like Venge or the Undying combo, the classic one for this meta? Currently, it's a very strong lane, so...
Yeah, we see the Oracle getting banned from Dota 2 Friends and the Magnus. That might make it lean towards something like a Sven. Just because the Mag PA is really strong right now, and we see the Shaman, Shadow Shaman coming through from
the Mars first pick again.
What is your opinion on Mars
first pick? Wow, that's something you don't often see, because Mars is usually the kind of hero that you either want to build into your draft. So you go, okay, we're building team fight, so let them ban the axe or something, and then we go with the Mars. Both these teams seem to know exactly what they want, and they do pick up the Snapfire, which is the great combo that they want. But
with the Mars as well,
as soon as you have something that disrupts that combo, it's a bit difficult. They could probably be looking to pick up the Monkey King. That's why they're banning out the Sven as well. So a very strong team fight combination from Dota 2 and Friends. But South African Legends have the Shadow Shaman and the Axe, which is two of the heroes that they're actually going to be pushing for, and two heroes that are very good at disrupting team fights and keeping them either busy or preoccupied with something else. So it seems to me that South African Legends are pretty much on par with what Dota 2 Friends are looking to achieve in the game. They know what they want to do, and they're countering it pretty good at this stage.
Yeah, I guess the only thing with Dota 2 Friends, one of the things that I like with them right now is they have the Mars snap already, and this snap can go either 4 or it can go 5. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a 4, but that lane Mars snap, I think that's a pretty deadly lane.
It could be the mid though.
It could also be mid. It could also be mid. As you see the disruptor coming through.
I don't know,
that's more. That's more counter team fight, counter initiation, and the catch as well.
And they banned the Monkey King and the AA, which is very good. But it feels like, for me, like there's the obvious two ways of drafting usually. Usually you go with, this is what we want to play and we need to ban accordingly. And then you have the reactive drafts, which is exactly what SAL is doing. But for me, it always seems like you're on the back foot because you have to work with what the other team is drafting and you have to work around it. And as soon as they start changing it up a bit, which is something they did exactly now with the Spec, they're going to be pushing with the team fights and giving the Spectre a lot of farm and a lot of space to farm around the map. And now you as SA Legends have to consider that into your reactional draft as well, which is why it just makes a lot more sense to just have a strategy and play around it. But SAL, obviously, if they're able to accomplish what they want, which is to disrupt this team fight and push in the towers at a lot earlier stage, the Spectre is not going to mean a lot. It's not going to come online when they want it to.
Oh, I guess if the good thing about the Spectre pick, if we look at it, I think with the Witch Doctor lane, it shouldn't be too bad. It's also pretty good against the supports on South African Legends' side. So, and I actually think with the build that Spectre's going right now, he actually does pretty well against Wraith King. And I don't know, I don't rate Wraith King that much this patch. What do you feel about him?
So again, it comes down to like SAL wanting to push in early and end the game a lot earlier. So it wouldn't surprise me that Wraith King doesn't go for the hardcore farming and starts joining team fights, even
Yeah.
you know, at unconventional timings that if you were to put it like that, and even has a bit more earlier defensive items. Obviously, Axe is going for the drums, but if you even want to go with something as simple as starting off with the urn on Wraith King so that he can fight a bit earlier, it's a very unconventional item. It's usually never built on him. It was at one stage, but it just seemed to fall off too early. But I mean, if you have the lineup like they do now with SAL,
They can create a lot of pressure with this lineup.
Maybe, but again, if Spectre builds something as simple as the Diffusal, which is you would look at it with the Shadow Shaman and Disruptor, you have to consider that with the Wraith King and the itemization that you're going now, because obviously the urn is just useless now, and even building into the Spirit Vessel doesn't make a lot of sense for him. So he's gonna need to build a bit early damage and just be able to push with the team and make sure he can fight with the team.
Yeah, I guess also the good thing that's good with the Diffusal for the Spectre this game, it not only helps him against the Wraith King, but he can solo kill both the supports easily with a Diffusal. So I would actually like to see him pick it up. And then on Wraith King, I think Silver's Edge might be insanely good for him this game, just because it naturally builds from Echo Saber, an item that we used to see a lot on him, not as much anymore, but also it gives him that initiation that he normally wouldn't have in this type of he's probably going to go rightly build. He's not going to go Radiance, might go like Armlet, Silver's Edge, Deso, something like that. Just put out that early damage, because he can't really outscale the Spectre, so you will have to do some more things early on.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned. Like he has to go with the early damage items, and I think a lot of it's going to come down to SAL's supports and exactly what they disrupt when they do actually disrupt it. Again, the Axe, as soon as the Haunt goes down, the Blink is kind of a bit troublesome to get off if you don't initiate with it already, if you haven't initiated with it already. So the Necrophos and the Invoker obviously doing
I like this Invoker pick quite a lot, actually. It's a
very heavy team fight.
It also combos well with the Mars in them, and it's also more mana drain potentially if he goes for the Quaswex. I think it's a really good Quaswex Merker game.
Yeah, Quaswex is probably the preferred one at this stage. Even Exort's not exactly what you even want to start off with. So Invoker, definitely a very good pickup for the team. Dota 2 friends seem to have a lot in the bag, but SAL have a lot of disruption. They have early push. They if they are able to control the map at an early stage, they definitely should have this game in the bag just from pushing. If they are able to just deny all the farm from the Spectre and push in, even if you're not pushing in the safe lane, if you're just able to push in the other two lanes, it's already a lot of pressure on Spectre. So I definitely hope that they are able to achieve it. But Dota 2 friends, with that team fight, it takes one or two mistakes, just those one or two team fights that they win, that's in their favor, that puts you on the back foot even more with your reactive draft that you already have.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm actually preferring the Dota 2 friends draft right now, just because I feel like this Invoker can definitely pop off in mid lane, and if he pops off and this Necro doesn't have the best of games, I don't really see how they can pressure that much. The rating still needs farm early, to get those one or two items up before he can really start going. So I think a lot of this game is in the hands of the Invoker right now.
Yeah, you still have to go with the gauntlets, the boots, and then into the Echo Saber. Obviously, if you have a good lane, it's easy items to pick up, but you're kind of not guaranteed that with the lineup you're going up against, especially. I mean, you're going Snapfire, Mars. That's pretty difficult to lane against for anyone. There's a lot of damage coming out from Snapfire. The Mars is pushing in the wave as well. Either pushing in the wave or doing the damage with the God's Rebuke. And you do have one of the better supports that you're laning with as well. We have to keep that in mind. Like Shadow Shaman is a very good bursty damage in the beginning. It's just his only weakness is the fact that he's that squishy.
Yes, he does trade really well. I'm actually not sure if he's going to trade better than a snap with a scatter blast though. He does
Yeah,
have a lot more base damage, but I think that's a matchup that we need to have a look at actually between these two supports. Yeah, at the bottom.
I think a lot of what both teams want to achieve or what they want to do after the 10-minute mark is going to come down to this bottom lane.
Yes.
Because if they win the bottom lane for the Radiant side, they're able to push, they're able to move into other lanes, they are able to quickly pick up the items they want, and then obviously the same goes for the Dire side.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the push, but it does give them the advantage in the fighting that they want, into getting into the item builds that they need in order to just initiate the fights and get the control of the map in the favor of Spectre. And if you're
Yes.
putting pressure on SAL, it turns automatically super difficult for them, because then not only are they playing against the Spectre, they aren't even closer on the items. So
Yeah.
top lane taking a lot of trading here and there, and then just moved back.
Yeah, we see the Witch Doctor actually started with 2 cells. That's something we see, well, not a lot, but we do see it sometimes in like the higher skill games where, this Witch Doctor knows his only objective in lane is to just make sure the Spectre
down bottom lane. This Wraith King's getting a lot of damage now. Wraith 5 lost is there, but it is going to be a pick up from Snapfire. Just one scatter blast and he was done. So he went for the ruin.
He did actually get it.
He did get it, but
yeah.
in the changes they made to the XP and stuff, it's naturally not worth it.
Yes.
And it is your core hero, so it's hands down not worth it to give your life for one of the ruins anymore. Previously, it wasn't that bad because the XP swing wasn't so tough, but now it makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, level 1 kills are a lot more valuable than they used to be.
I think it was to play around this.
This top lane is there's definitely going to be a lot of spam going through. I would like to see them pick up some sticks here with the Disruptor and the Axe Battle Hunger going through.
Now it seems like the Disruptor is not going to be able to do a lot because of the double ring of regen, and that's very good, very well played from the Spectre. Just making sure that he just needs to stay in lane. He doesn't need to cast spells as much as he wants to.
He doesn't need to trade
will get his farm if he's not. Yeah, if he's not dying early, then he is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They just killed Radiant's courier.
Romeo actually getting a kill on the courier down bottom, and he's pulling the wave. So the Mars took a lot of damage because both heroes were moving up to do damage to Big Daddy, but the lane got pulled and they lost the courier as well. But again, now Wraith King's sort of catching up with it as well.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like pulling on the tower there, right? But like the wave was already pushing into them, so I guess it's fine. Now they do reset the wave back in front of the Mars tower. Let's have a look at mid lane quickly.
But it's already 9-2. Like Wraith King's leading in last hits and denies, and he's in the safe lane.
Yeah, if you look at mid lane, actually, the Necro is actually quite a bit ahead in last hits in terms of the Invoker. But I think that should change as the lane goes on. And Invoker gets more points in Wex, and he starts utilizing that EMP more.
Yeah, as soon as he's able to control the lanes with just the spells he throws, and that's when he starts, it gets close to the 6-minute mark, he starts rotating, and, 1 or 2 pickoffs puts him way ahead and his team as well. So again, it comes down, I think a lot of it's going to come down to exactly how these teams play from the point of not just rotation, but after the laning phase and what they do with whatever advantages they have.
Yeah, the Axe isn't having the best time at top at the moment, actually.
So yeah, sitting 6-3.
He
should be doing better, right? Because you have a Disruptor that is in your lane, but again, Disruptor using all the mana, all the regen, and Spectre's not taking as much damage as they would like for him to take.
Yeah, he's
even with that battle hunger.
Yeah, I mean, 2 points in dispersion, that's already 12% damage reflection that's going through, and then with those Wish Docks having so much regen, I don't see how they're actually going to run out of regen.
Mars actually picking up that Soul Ring already, so he's going to be throwing out a lot more spears, and that could, you probably want to get one more bracer on the Wraith King right now, just because of the damage that's going to come out from Snapfire as soon as she's level 3, level 4, and you don't have that level 6.
Yeah, and the Mars is actually like half level ahead of the Wraith King in experience right now. So if he is level 6 before the Wraith King does, I think this Wraith King is in a lot of trouble if he's not tanky enough.
So top lane, they're actually doing a bit of a pull as well, which is something that Axe does naturally and can do even on his own. So I guess if you bring that concept into play, the Spectre is, farming under the tower, which is not optimal for you, but it's not as bad for the Axe as the lane was, or at least started out. Like, when the fire rate changed for the towers, a lot of the people, had to adapt to it. But I think when you're at the stage where everyone who does farm or is used to the push that comes out have kind of adapted a lot more and do know now what the timings are and everything. So taking a lot of damage is bottom. He does get shackled up. The Mars moves up, but Shadow Shaman now has to run away. It's the 5-minute mark.
He does have the mango with the Ether Shock. He can definitely contest his Rune on Shadow Shaman.
Wants to. Oh, stun comes out. Not giving away the
The spear just misses.
And he is regenning up.
He
has to run away.
Be fine, yeah. He should be fine.
Chasing this. He should be.
That's not too bad, actually. As we see the Axe actually going down at top.
Yeah, they had way too much damage
with the Maledict, yeah.
And now even
he died.
So down bottom, he actually went for the rune because he did see the Mars move up, so he changed his direction to move to the rune. But then Snapfire already regened a lot more than he did. He was able to get the kill. So not I'd say the best idea from the Shadow Shaman, but
I guess the good thing with all that was happening, the Wraith King is actually now ahead in XP, just because of the rotation from the Mars and a Snap there, so that's not the worst. As we see the Spectre going down on top.
Now they have the damage though. It's like the level 2 on Thunderstrike, they have the Battle Hunger, they have the Call as well. So.
Yeah, this lane is starting to look a bit rough for him. I think the problem is he didn't send himself regen, he sent himself 2 Wraith Bands about 30 seconds ago, but no regen.
Down bottom, this Mars is taking way too much damage. Snapfire will use the cookie, gets him out. Now Slashman has to move away, taking way too much damage. Romeo's chasing the spear, comes out onto Commander as well. There's not enough mana to fight, so he needs to get the stun off as well, and he does.
He's got 3 points in drift. He's got 3 points in drift, man.
That was well played.
Going out on top, and Axe is very low.
He is going to survive this, it seems.
Okay, TP stop.
Has to start TPing. Well, he doesn't have the Sunstrike because there's no Exort.
Oh, no.
So this was I don't think he should have rotated there.
Yeah.
Spectre is getting the farm. He's level 4, almost level 5. Does have really 2 Wraith Bands, so... I mean, the last hit's sitting at 26-4 versus the 30-2 from the Wraith King. I mean, you're keeping up, but you're supposed to be pressuring a lot, or at least contesting a lot better right now, because the team fights are going to start very soon, and you're not going to be able to contribute. So I hope they start stacking a bit as well. Top, taking a lot of damage. Maledict's going to come out as well. Those casks are way too much, and he is going to fall. Shiva's.
So it took a while for the Evoker to get something on the top, but he did get the Axe. So I think in the end it was maybe not as worth it, but he did at least get the Axe kill.
He gave up a lot of damage on the mid tower.
He did.
And mid is the one tower that you kind of don't want to have fall, especially that or early in the game, or like most people say at any stage in the game, you kind of contest your tier 1 mid. And,
as you see,
giving up a lot of damage.
Bottom is kind of weird now, where it's at this point where the Mars has his ulti, and he can't really kill the Wraith King, but we do see him smoking towards mid. I think this is a very dead shaman.
Yeah. Even using he misses the spear though. There is going to be another. No, there isn't going to be the shotgun. They use the cookie, and the God's Rebuke should go out next, right? They just they want to give it to.
Nice.
Oh.
He's got 3 charges on his own now. And he's also rushing this vessel, which is super good against the Necrophos.
It's good against the Wraith King as well, right? It's good
Yes.
against the Axe as well
It's
if
a
he starts
really
still
good
being
item.
defensive. So a very good item pickup here from the Invoker. Gonna make sure that they can contest everything. But again, like you mentioned, down bottom, the Wraith King is now going to be able to just contain the lane. You're not going to be able to do anything unless you start bringing in a lot more rotations. Up top, the Axe is just... He's just farming the lane. There's nothing your your Witch Doctor can do anyway. So you're not going to be able to do something with Witch Doctor and Spectre, because Spectre needs the farm as well. He can't really contest this Axe at all, because then he'd lose out on his last hit. So
Yeah.
it seems like SAL really have something a bit more of an advantage, but this is at the point where they should be having it, right? Otherwise, this game was just over already.
Yeah, I think when a snap hits 6, I would like to see him rotate to the Axe lane, just because even with just one hero with him, they can definitely get a kill there. I think rotating towards the Wraith King is kind of weird. We actually see him going on mid on the
mid. Taking a lot of damage now. Spirit Vessel as well does have the cold snap. Down. And that is him falling. Rotten getting another kill now.
Brian Adams.
All the way behind the tower, the Spirit does come out. The Haunt as well, actually going to join the fight. Jimmy taking way too much damage. Witch Doctor going to be able to use the...
What a turn there from Dota. What a turn there from Dota to friends. Like we said, right, this Mars, he can't really, stay bottom and be passive. He needs to make these rotations with this Arena of Blood. Otherwise, it's just giving him too much space on the side of ZA Legends.
I think it was Dota 2 Friends just making a way better call, realizing that these guys are way too far ahead, and the Spectre has Haunt. We should just, use this to our advantage. The runes are going to come up as well, which was the advantage for them, but obviously playing around just the little mistakes there from SA Legends. So Invoker moving down bottom. The bottom tower did fall. He's going to have to use the EMP.
He does have 5 points in Wex. If he gets another rotation, we see Witch Doctor coming through in the back. The EMP goes down. Cross going out, and Melody coming down. I think this might be a dead rate.
I mean, he could get the kill as well. He just needs to get one more strike, and now he does. Another crit!
He's gonna get out. He's so tanky right now. Bracer and an Ogre Axe with the power trees. He's sitting at almost 1,700 HP right now.
But what really saved his life was the 20 charges on the one. Because as soon as the Maledict, the first tick came off, he was able to just heal it up immediately. So definitely helping him out a lot. I mean, that's the advantage of the Necrophos as well. If the Invoker's not defending it up top, they're taking a lot of damage there on Shivas. He is going to use another EMP. Shivas does use the call, but the Tornado is there now. Snapfire, there's no cookie, does have Mortimer Kisses, but chooses to hold on to it. Jimmy, but the two supports pick up the tower. This is exactly what you want. If you're pushing the towers against the Spectre, you don't care that the Axe just died.
I mean, the point is, right, trying to kill the Spectre with how safe he's playing is really hard. So the best way to go about it is just take all their buildings. The Spectre does not want to fight right now. He doesn't have boots. He's busy building drums. So he's not looking to fight at least until he has drums up.
So already an Echo Saber. We're not going to be able to kill him, although I say that, but there is the Hex coming out. They do have the Mass Serpent Wards, but now the stun is there, the Maledict as well, and Mortimer's Kisses going in. He should be able to get this, he's just missing the whole time.
He does have mana there.
But they don't have enough control. The Mars does walk up. Arena of Blood is there. They should be spearing him to it. Misses the spear again. There's no slow, but the stun. The cask is there. Now the kinetic field to be able to control them up. There's going to be the ulti thrown down as well. Glimpses there. They could just save this Wraith King. He does have stun though. He will fall for the second time. That was probably the best for the Spectre. Does survive. Gets way too many spells thrown out on him, so there's no defense from the Radiant side. And as soon as they fall back, they're able to kill 2 heroes. So very bad here.
If you look on top, actually, he has Spirit Vessel up now. He was trying to go aggressive there on the Axe, but the Axe is just maybe a bit too tanky for him at the moment. He's even though he's level 11 on Invoker, I feel like if we actually look at bottom, it looks like they're trying to pressure you. I don't know if it's the best idea without the Arena of Blood. And Snap also.
Well, at this stage, they do stun up. There's another stun to follow up. Maledict going to be there as well. The Spear. There's going to be enough from the Maledict tick. And now Adam taking way too much damage. Jimmy is focusing him, but there is no second. But the Wraithfire Blast, they want to get the Snapfire now. He does still have the Scatter Blast, but doesn't seem like he'll need to use it.
Yeah, while that was happening, the Invoker actually got a solo kill on the Axe top. He was in about a half HP, and he just used the Vessel and everything, and he went down.
Like, well, one thing we mentioned in the draft was the Invoker being so productive against countering so many heroes from the Radiant side, but his itemization is doing the exact same thing as well, right? This is him going, okay, well, what do we need when they start pushing? If we could get an early Spirit Vessel, we can just take them down. If we could get, you know, the Boots of Travel, I can go any lane and just make sure that they're not pressuring as much as they do right now. So definitely the Invoker sort of prioritizing exactly what they need for his team. So we'll have to see how it moves into the middle of the game, though.
Yeah, because if he went for the standard Export Quas or Export Wex build, I think this game would have been a lot harder than it's looking right now. I mean, it's 15 minutes in almost, and they are basically equal on net worth, which is what you would love with a Spectre draft.
I mean, they're looking to fight now. There's pressure up top, but the Invoker's not moving in. Axe is just farming the lane. They do have the wards going down. I'm not too sure. They probably didn't plan this. They didn't plan to use it as the Shadow Shaman, because usually you'd want to push a lane where you're guaranteed the tower, or at least guaranteed half of the tower, and they just threw the ulti down.
And also, it's kind of weird going for that play without the blink on Axet. He opted to go for the Ring of Health and Chainmail before blink, so he's not 100% ready to fight yet. So I would have liked to see them maybe just focus the farm on the Axis, make sure he gets the blink, just so that they have that timing up.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the biggest thing for me was the itemize. We talked about the item progress on just on the support heroes and when you want to push the lane, but if Axe doesn't have that blink dagger, you know, he's not getting those sneaky calls off or anything either. And using your disruptor mid.
Yes, I think it's become a really scary game for the supports on ZA Legends. This Invoker and even the Mars, they're really scary. To see Axe go on top again, he actually.
I mean, Maledict and Cask right now is, you know, both of them are level 4. Yeah. This Witch Doctor is definitely not something to just throw away, but now the Shaman falls. So it seems like the mid game for Dota 2 Friends is just leaning in their favor. They're getting all these 1-by-1 pickoffs, and it comes down to what we mentioned in the top lane. You want to be pushing as a team, and you didn't do that. Shadow Shaman threw down his ulti, and there was literally nothing gained from it. Actually, so you're like prioritizing items, but you're not getting the push that you want either, and then you're getting you're giving the other team pickoffs. Now the stun does come out. The Arena of Blood, Shadow Shaman. He just wanted to help with the call. It's not going to be enough. Now the cold snap's going to be there. The Spirit Vessel. They do throw down the ice wall as well, and now the top tower is going to fall.
Yeah, it's starting to look actually quite grim for ZA Legends. I guess the good thing is Necro. He almost has his Radiance up on the Necro, so we might see a shift in the way the game is going once he gets it. And Wraith King is queuing up the BKB as well. He's about almost about 2k gold away. So maybe when they get those items, the game will start looking a lot better. As we see the Wraith King going onto the Spectre, I don't think he can kill him at all.
Middle lane though, Jimmy taking way too much damage. God's rebuke. He will use the glimpse, but not going to be enough to save him.
Yeah, I think
Wraith King alone won't have the damage to kill the Spectre. Yeah. Unless he gets like 4 Mortal Strikes off or something, which, you know, has to count in your favor.
Thank you, Gaben, for that content. I would love to see that.
So I think like the side of the side of Dota 2 Friends seem to be team fighting as they wanted to in the mid game, which is very difficult for the side of SA Legends because they wanted to be ahead at this stage, but they don't have the axe. They do have the blade mill though. They already wanted to have the Radiance, but they don't have it yet. Looking good on the lost hits and stuff, obviously, but Spectre's already got a bit of an advantage with the early kills and the early rotations. 3-1, 5-1 actually on the Snapfire. So Mid lane, they just want to push this tower in as well now.
I guess the good thing for the side of the as we actually see the Mars also comes through the axe with the snap
Just use the blade mill, but Death Ward is
not like this. You don't want to TP into this, good sir.
Spectre moving in, they do get a kill on the Necrophos. He is able to use the Ghost Shard. Romeo, Maledict now, and you don't have the Guardian's Greaves. Radiance is going to be there now. Tornado, Jimmy, Ice Wall casks. It's just too much. No, Raking. What are you doing? Now the Maledict is on him as well. Spirit Vessel.
He's just dead. I don't think they were ready to take a fight there, especially not sweeping in 1 by 1.
That was walking in like lambs to the slaughter.
Yeah.
One little gate, they were funneled, and the Dota 2 friends team was just able to pick them up every time. They have so many spells in their arsenal that just controls everyone up or make sure that they can't get to their friend to help them out.
I think they got baited by the Radiance actually on the Necro. As we see,
they take a lot of damage again.
Oh man!
Not like this. No, Maledict. The blade mill does not return enough damage.
And
Magic
is also going to go down.
Rotten do get the kill though.
Rotten on his Invoker is making so many plays at this moment. And bottom tower should also be going down within the next 30 seconds or so.
Snapfire gonna make sure of that. They do get the 1 kill on the Witch Doctor, but obviously that's nowhere near even comparable. And this Spectre is just farming. There's the Diffusal Blade that we talked about. He does have the drums. He didn't even need drums because just out of the laning stage, he was already doing good. So is queuing up the Manta style, and then it's gonna be difficult.
I really do like the fact that he notices he can't go some greedy build in this game. He has to go something where he can fight with the guards early because, you know, who knows what would have happened in these last few fights if Spectre wasn't there. Sure, he doesn't do the most damage, but he is still quite tanky and does absorb some of the damage.
And he's also draining mana.
Yes.
He's, you know, he's making sure they kind of have to work around him and keep him in mind. And the biggest thing now is the itemizations for SA Legends, because the Wraith King's going for the BKB. Once he has that up, this whole game changes. Then you don't have the Cask Maledict combo anymore to disrupt this team fight. And then SA Legends could start taking the fights even when you initiate, even when you get the perfect fights off. If they're able to just stand there and your spells do nothing.
Yeah, the Blink on Axe is also getting close. He did opt to go for the Blade Mill first. So I think if they just give him like a minute or so, let him just farm for a bit, give the Wraith King just a minute or so, just so they can get these key items up. Then I think they might just look for a smoke just to try and take an advantage, an advantage of the timings that they just made.
Yeah, top lane they actually did use a smoke, but they weren't able to get anything for it. They are pressuring the lane, but down bottom is also getting pressured for the Radiant side, so they'll probably just try and throw down the Shadow Shaman ult, but it is what they should have been doing a lot earlier. They're doing it exactly as they want to now. A lot of TPs coming in actually. Shadow Shaman does throw the wards
on a courier of the axe. I don't think
they should just have to wait for it.
Snap Axe is up. Oh, that's
the Gibbs is going to come up. The Cask, the Maledict. There is going to be the Ward as well. Bleeding of Blood, but Kinetic Guild, the Static Storm. They're just taking way too much damage here from the Witch Doctor, though. Yeah. If they were able to disrupt the Witch Doctor earlier, it would have changed the whole fight, but...
Yeah, they just melted.
And, like, he hit Maledict on 2 heroes, and...
Yeah.
Down bottom, Snapfire's pushing in. Up top, the tower did fall, though.
Yeah, we did see the Snap rushing the Axe. Sure, it didn't hit on anyone, but the Mars was put into a position where he was behind all of them. So he actually just walked up and ultied with the Witch Doctor cars coming through, with the Spectre Horn coming through, and the Snapfire didn't actually even use his ulti there, and they won that fight really easily.
It allowed him to go for the Guardian's Greaves early, which I think is the 2 items that you kind of... You know, you'll argue to switch them around between these 2 heroes, between Mars and Snapfire, but Snapfire going for that did allow the Mars not to, rush the Blink Dagger. He does have it queued up, so I'm not sure what they're thinking for who's the target after that, because you're not throwing anyone in a team fight if it's not the Mars. So that's where the questionable play, like, could you have just gone for the Guardian's Greaves on Snapfire rather than?
Yeah. I think it's interesting though. You know, going the Greaves just because he actually gets it a lot faster than the Snap probably would have gotten it. As we do see him gobbling up.
Yeah, he does. Throws him in, but he throws him up top. He's going to be stunned up, and the Disruptor should fall. Cookie going to be able to get him down, and he is going to stun up the Axe. Axe does get the call. There's a lot of damage now. Mortimer's Kisses is going to be used. It's going to channel it down. It's going to be godlike here for Legend. He does take out Skim, but stunned up, Axe will fall. And that's way too much. It's really not worth it. This Wraith King just has to get out. He doesn't have his level 15.
He does have the
He doesn't have the level 20 talent.
But does he really want to use a BKB just to run? He has to.
He has to. Does use the BKB. Will stun up the Invoker. Is he trying to fight here? Do use the Witch Doctor ult, and the Shadow Shaman will fall. And that Witch Doctor play actually saved them, because now they are going to be able to just get 2 kills onto the Wraith King. This game's probably much over.
Yeah. I think he got baited by the BKB there. You know, as good as a BKB is, you know, it's only good if there's actually a team with you to help you, you know, deal with all the heroes that are there. They just guarded him completely.
It just felt like Dota 2 friends were able to initiate the fight exactly the way they wanted to every time. Spectre didn't even use Haunt in this fight, so he still has it up. And again, it's these kind of plays, they just throw themselves and take way too much damage. Shivas is doing a lot of damage with the Helix though, but the God's Rebuke is going to make sure that he does no longer do that.
What also happened in that last fight is we didn't see the Invoker actually picks up an Orchid, and he caught the Necro in the backline there, and he just instantly took out the Necro, which made the fight obviously a lot easier, since that's, you know, that big force, the Necro with the Greaves, well, with the Mechanism and with the Radiance, wasn't actually in the main fight.
It makes it a lot more difficult for them, right? And it's just going to fall again, like Spirit. Vessel with the 2 squishy supports, and then you throwing them in the air, you doing a lot of damage with that Meteor. That's just annoying.
So
that's just annoying to anyone.
Do you think ZA Legends ban the Invoker in the next game if it looks like a good Invoker game? Because I think Rotten has played out of his mind this game.
I don't think it comes down to the hero. It was just for me it was for them it should come around the basics of how they position and how they want to play in team fights. Maybe they should look at heroes that, you know, team fight a bit more. Again, we did mention this is the biggest issue with counter drafting. It's a great play to do if you kind of already know what the enemy team wants to go for. They do get the call off, but the Tornado is going to be there, not going to be able to help. Kinetic Field, the Static Storm as well, but the Horn coming out now, so the Spear does secure the Axe into the tree. They will be looking to push, but the Glimpse was way too late. Going to be able to get picked up by the Sunstrike alone.
Yeah, this Invoker's level 22, man. He's very over-leveled right now. If you look at compared to the Necro, he's 6 levels ahead of this Necro, and it's a 20k gold lead for him right now.
He's actually queuing up the Shiva's God and deciding between BKB or Shiva's God. That's how good. That's how far ahead this Invoker is.
That is a good position to be.
Should probably just do the Mass Serpent Wards. You're in the wrong position, Skim. You're taking way too much magic damage. Ghost Shroud's not going to be the thing. They do use the ulti.
Invoker's not that fight.
Mortimer's was just cancelled. No, he didn't do Mortimer's Kisses.
Yeah, they still have a lot of magic damage on the side of the eye. As we see the Axe actually getting the call onto the Snap going down. Witch Doctor might be in a bit of trouble, yeah.
They just need to see him. They have the glimpse.
I don't think he commits to this. He actually calls the wave, and it's on team because of this.
This was way too far ahead for you. Should not be calling the wave, knowing that the enemy team is around. And Dota 2 Legends just pick up on that. They do have the Hex onto the Spectre. He's taking a lot of damage, but Manta Style's out. Witch Doctor can heal him up as well.
I'm loving this build quite a lot on Invoker. Like, he realized he needed the Vessel to make plays on the map, and then you realize with the Boots of Travels, he does it more efficiently, and then with the Orchid, he actually just solo kills just about every hero on the Radiant side. So I think his build is insanely good.
Exactly what his team needed. Exactly what team wanted to do, and they didn't even consider playing off the back foot defensively because I assumed it was for that, but it wasn't. It was for him to make these big plays. Is going for the Shiva's Guard actually now. Paladin's Sword going to be given to Spectre. Oh my soul, this is just went.
We do actually see Wraithing almost as his Desolate's up, and he just picked up on Orbit's Destruction. So he definitely has a damage, and he can survive. I think the only thing he might still need after that is just, some way to not make them run away from you, like an Abyssal, or, blinking in, like getting a blink or something. He needs some way to not get kited by these heroes.
If your supports are able to just crowd control as you want them to, as efficiently as you want them to, like Disruptor, Kinetic Field, Static Storm, landing on two very good heroes. The Snapfire is going to be able to throw him in. Mars, he is going to get silenced up, actually, and get thrown forward. So
he can still be TP Archer.
Going to have to use that BKB. Are they? The Necrophos as well now. It's going to be the Arena of Blood, the Spear, but they do have the Mass Serpent Wards. Don't want to play against that. The Kinetic Field, Static Storm. It is going to be enough to take down the Mars, but it will pay for it with his Light Sunstrike. Going to be going out onto the Axe. The Spectre is not going to go down. Actually, the Spectre, he is chasing in for more. Glimpse going to be used. Another CC, and Mortimer's Kisses is not going to be able to secure it.
It's not going to get it. I mean, it's kind of at this point now where the cores on Die are so hard to kill with the Greaves and, Invoker. He's actually catching the Disruptor, yeah?
It's going to be the counter plays now.
He doesn't have mana for Shackle. If he had mana for Shackle, I think this Invoker might have actually died.
He would have paid for it. The Spectre is way armed up. It's probably still going to do for it. Sunstrike not going to do a lot of damage. We'll get the last hit off now. Necrophos. I mean, you just have to do a lot of damage to the Spectre. He's pushed way too far. But there is no ulting on the Necrophos.
He does go down to the Radiance Burn and the tower hit.
So, going a bit greedy there for Dota Legend, for Dota friends.
Do they have any?
They do.
They do get the duration on the Shackle.
You actually have the duration on the Shackle. It's going to take way too much damage.
And the Reds are also getting better in, yeah.
Romeo, you should fall. They should be able to get you. The Echo Saber is going to make sure that you can't walk away.
I'm still.
He's going to try and... Come on, Shivas, you got this. You have to.
Oh no, he's going to go down, yeah.
Blade Mail is up as well, the stun, Wraith King. They probably should have just gone for Roche. They should have just left the Axe to kill him. Or even if he got the TP out, it would have been fine because you were able to play around.
They have to walk into Roche right now. This could be actually a turning point in this game. The Silver Sage is actually up on a Wraith King now as well. Be sending it on Courier.
They were able to get the Roshan earlier and push in the two waves like they probably wanted to. They would have been able to get the tier 2s though. Arena of Blood's going to be thrown out. The Spear as well, God's Rebuke. He's doing a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Serpent Wards, it actually keeps Jimmy in there as well. He's taking way too much damage. Kinetic Field and Static Storm used for this. If he's able to get one more last hit, no, it's not.
Spectre does actually have horns. Invoker's up in 20. I don't think they can take this Roche. The Mars actually, I think that his job there. Like this Roshan shouldn't go to them.
They have the horn. Well, Jimmy should have probably just.
He's actually stuck in the wards.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do to save him, but he should just stand there as a ward. Why is he TPing? Like the duration.
Let's see.
Would not have been enough for them.
Invoker is TPing there, as we see a lot of...
Mortimer's Kiss is actually going to come out. Blade Mail going to be used. Now Shadow Shaman tries to run away. There's going to be the Tornado going out. Ghost Shard going to use... Try and keep this Necrophos alive, but there's way too much magic damage. Wraith King also dropping very low. He is going to actually have to drop the BKB, but he drops. Now he doesn't have BKB or Silver's Edge. Should have just waited with that BKB. Now he has to fight, but it is... Witch Doctor gonna use the ulti. That was... Why did he pop the BKB there?
Like, there's actually so many factors that made them not get this Rosh, right? It's chasing the Witch Doctor there instead of going for Rosh, and then it's, the Mars coming in and making space. If either of those two things didn't happen, I think they would have gotten Rosh there, and, if if it happened like right after they took Rosh, maybe, just maybe, they could have gotten other than Vocal or the Spectre, like trying to come in. But now, I don't know. You know, how do you kill the Spectre twice? And I'm pretty sure he's
He's
sending
going
it off
hard now as well.
He has the gold for it, actually.
Yeah, he's actually just going to pick it up. Has heart. And then he doesn't even care. He's just going to stand there and fight. He doesn't care which hero he hits because the rest of them are just going to die. Actually, a meteor hammer as well and Snapfire.
Actually, because they don't have that much tower pressure. I guess they have alacrity with the Spectre, but like none of the heroes really pressure building. So I actually like this meteor hammer pick up quite a bit.
This is where it gets very crucial for the Radiant side, right? Because they don't have a lot of high ground fight when they're pushing on the Dire side.
Yeah.
They have to sort of get into position, get the pick-offs, get the Mars in there in order to secure the kills, in order to secure the sort of the disruption from the team. But if the Radiant side are able to just position correctly and throw their spells, get the pick-offs they want, should not happen. Say that the Meteor's going to come out doing way too much damage. The spear.
Disruptor is actually living through this. He's going to get his ulti off.
He is still alive. The kinetic field is there and the static storm as well. Spectre is looking to chase him, is going to throw out the dagger. They're taking way too much damage on this Radiant side. Jimmy is dropping low. Kinetic field and static storm doing what they want, but they still have that Aegis.
Aegis is not going down. I think Raytheon's going to get baited here. I think they can actually turn him.
He has to walk away. He had to, like the BKB. But again,
and now
the whole team's already dead.
The Spectre's just going to be full HP in like 30 seconds, and there's nothing the side of ZA Legends can really do about it.
Yeah, this game is over. Again, it was those two team fights that they shouldn't have lost. Those two team fights where the Dire side was starting to pressure you that you shouldn't have lost, and
then like after that at the end where they could have taken Rush. But I think in the lanes, I think they played it pretty well. I think it's just once the Invoker started getting online and he started making the plays, ZA Legends took the wrong fights around this Invoker because he was really strong and they were rushing Radiance on the Necro, so he wasn't in a position to fight like this, like the Invoker was.
I think they wanted to pressure a lot more than they suspected they would be. But again, when the Shadow Shaman threw down the wards up top, your whole team should have been there. Everyone should have been there. You guys should be prioritizing this push because that is the big stuff that you play around. If you're able to get the tower and able to get 2 or 3 pickoffs, then the Dire side still have to get their items. But you throw down the Serpent wards, you allow them to actually kill the Shadow Shaman and then throw 2 more bodies at them, and it's just not enough. Then the fight in mid, you get the pickoff, everyone TP's in, and they just die one by one. And then after the whole team dies, only then does the Wraith King come in as well. That's terrible.
I think they definitely overcommitted. Like after the first two kills happened, they just needed to go split another lane. There's no way they're defending it anymore against how strong Dai actually was at that point. But there was some positive to take from it. I think they were still quite far in that mid game, even though the fights were quite bad. So I'm actually still looking forward to game 2. I think game 2 is not going to be as much of a stomp as this game was.
Guess we'll have to see when it gets to that. So we'll have to see what they bring in. We'll have to see. I hope that they don't go for like the counter drafting, but we'll have to stick around for game number 2.
Awesome.
Can we go back to
guys? Yeah, what's up? Pretty hectic match. I think a little bit one-sided there. I think as you guys mentioned, the Invoker got absolutely out of control. But we saw some good plays coming from ZA Legends there, actually making a bit of a comeback there in that last fight. But then obviously the Roche sort of got a bit too tempting. But yeah, that was actually a full team wipe, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Yeah, and obviously the comeback mechanic within Dota is quite heavy. So yeah. But I think with that is an awesome game, guys. We are going to be going into the second game, and Fire and Red, do you guys think that they should ban this Invoker? I know you guys briefly spoke about it in the match.
I don't think it comes down to the Invoker, right? It came down to your execution of your plan that I wouldn't say failed. It just seemed like you guys weren't as committed to it as you would have been, or as you wanted to be at that stage. Again, the decision to everyone chase the witch doctor instead of going for that Roshan. It's those small decisions that just give this dire team advantage to get the pickoffs, to get those 1 or 2 pickoffs and come back into a game that should have been your advantage already.
Yeah, look, I think they do. From my perspective, I think they should still ban it out. You know, it did look like something that Rotten did seem extremely good on, and I think, you know, in looking at this best of 3, you know, you've only got one game now to play around with, and it's not one of it's one of those heroes that you kind of just, you know, if it's a signature hero, just take it out. You know, you'd rather deal with something new than something you know is going to be a problem.
I suppose they'll change it up a bit more, knowing what they know now. They'll prioritize a maybe a more versatile hero for themselves on the mid lane. Like even having you don't really want to contest as the Storm Spirit, but having the Storm Spirit in the fights would have probably changed things around a lot more. I don't know. I think a lot of it for them comes down to what they want to execute. And again, if you're going to execute a plan like a push strat, you shouldn't be counter drafting either.
So and you need to have a draft in mind to go for it. And also, the other thing is with the whole like banning the invoker thing, I think, you know, the first thing you need to do is just make sure you have catch for those top heroes, because they don't really have a lot of catch. You know, Wraith King, Necro, and, you know, the Axe Blink was very late. So how did they actually like catch that invoker? You know, he was just running through the supports, running through everyone actually.
And funny enough, I think, you know, to your point is that Witch Doctor was actually, they just couldn't catch the Witch Doctor when he got his ulti off. You know, obviously that Blink Dagger with the Axe could have maybe come a bit earlier. I did see Axe brought out the Blade Mail when he was dying, which is generally a good idea. I think just maybe this game he could have just, you know, went for that Blink Dagger instead.
As soon as the fight started and the cask was bouncing and he was able to get 2 maledicts, and then you're already in the arena of blood, and the disruptor isn't throwing the kinetic field static storm. Like, I think a big thing as well was how they prioritized which spells goes where, because the disruptor should not essentially be throwing down the kinetic field and static storm within the arena of blood. He should probably be, you know, maybe trying to position around being able to throw it at the back as soon as the Witch Doctor ults, or catch out that Invoker and Witch Doctor next to each other and go kinetic field static storm. Now we are able to, you know, regroup and take back this fight where you already threw your major spells. Like it seemed like snaps.
Yeah, that's I think they had a bit of a tough game there on the supports. You know, falling quite a bit there, but I think you're right. Also, Shaman could have potentially looked at that as well with that Aether Lens. You know, Shackle, Sheep, any of maybe Invoker, because I don't think Invoker had BKB for quite a while in that game.
Yeah, he actually went for Shivas because he was like, they're not focusing me, so I don't have to build the BKB because they're not doing what they should be.
The only time he died was because he overextended. Well, actually, because all of them overextended and dived a bit too far. But apart from that, you know, it never really looked like he was actually like in fear of dying. Like I was looking quite a lot. It never looked like he actually came close to dying.
But he was getting the big pickoffs, right? Yeah. He was not essentially making the big plays like you want from the invokers that go for the Agnum Scepters and the big spell combos and builds into all these team fight items and the, you know, exactly like you want from a mid invoker. But he literally went with, okay, we're building to counter them, we're building to counter the push, and if we're doing that, then I literally just want to get the 1 or 2 pickoffs, and we'll just play around that.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to jump back to you know, obviously that discussion about Invoker and the Necro. Red, what do you think they could have done instead of the Necro pick there? Because I think Necro struggled a bit this game.
I think the Necro pick could have been fine if they didn't rush a Radiance on it. Like with the way they draft was set up, you know, they had Wraith King, they had Necro, they had Axe. All they had to do is just maybe go for like the early Greaves on the Necro, maybe Yules, just to make sure he doesn't just feed to the vessel. And then I think Wraith King, like if they got the early items like a bit earlier, Maybe just a bit better laning and stuff. I think they could have actually pressured a lot better. With the serpent wards and stuff, they could really run at buildings actually.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. He did actually have that greaves queued up. I think he just took that mid tower
Yeah.
and thought, I'm quite far ahead. Maybe I should just go for this. But speaking of this game, guys, we are going into the second game of this best of 3. So Fire, Red, I'm going to hand over to you guys and enjoy, and I'll see you afterwards.
Awesome, thanks a lot. So, Red, again, we do expect the same bands. Going to be that Viper. I don't know if they want to leave.
Oracle.
Yeah, maybe you could even leave in the Oracle, but it's very difficult when it gets to the stage where he is level 6 and stuff. So,
yeah, I think the problem with Oracle is once he's level 3, I don't think there's any support that does more damage in him in that time. Like he can almost solo kill all offlaners by level 3, and then he gets the Fate's Edict. He gets his level 6, and he gets 1 or 2 items like an Aether Lens and like a Glimmer and something, and then by that point you can't really even commit onto anyone, because if you commit onto someone and the Oracle is not the one you're committing onto, you just save them, as we do see the Oracle ban actually coming through.
It's going to be double respect ban here for SA Legends, so leaving a lot in the pool from their previous ban phase.
I like the Mars ban, and the Witch Doctor also did a lot last game.
Like, you should probably just be banning one of them, right? You shouldn't be banning both. I think the Mars gave them the great initiation that they wanted, and maybe you look at picking up the Snapfire early and just banning out the Mars, or you just ban out the Snapfire and you can leave the Mars in place, but then Mars would obviously still have to go for the Blink Dagger. But knowing what you are playing up against, you can sort of pressure it a bit better, or force him to be on the back foot like your Axe was, but having to go for the Blade Mail first instead of the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, what I would normally do in this position in Asada ZA Legends is I would, let's say I banned the Mars already, I would then also ban like a Clock or a Tiny, and then I would actually just second pick the Vengeful Spirit, and then look to get a Drow up before the next banning phase.
And that's the thing I wanted to mention now. Are they picking up Drow? No.
The snap again.
I think I think they were expecting it for SA Legends, so they just pick it up. But it's like, again, are you playing to your strengths? Are you playing to what you want? Does Dota 2 Friends want to play Snapfire? It's obviously a very versatile hero, but you still have a lot of things in the pool right now. You have the Drow, you have the Undying. They could still pick up the Undying on SL and just be like, okay, well, we're team fighting now, so what are you doing?
And also, the one thing I do like about Snap, though, is it's good with a lot of offlaners in lane, and it also gives the threats of, Faces Void Snap, which we do see the Venge coming through. I don't know if they heard me.
Like, do you prioritize Venge over Drow, though?
I think getting the Venge in early is not a bad idea, just because it does pay well with the Drow, but also if they do end up picking the Drow, you can always go a Faces Void. Or if they do go the Faces Void on the side of Dota 2 Friends, you do have the swap ready to swap people out of the Chrono. So I do like the Venge pick up after the Snap, actually.
I think, for me, what would have worked well is for them to pick up the Drow and then give the ban to Dota 2 Friends. Do you want to play against or force them to maybe even pick the Venge or the Undying? And if they don't, then you just go, okay, well, we'll pick up the Venge because it's just better versus the Faceless Void. Or if they picked up the Venge themselves, you just go, well, okay, we could do Undying because we could still even heal as soon as the Undying throws down the Tombstone. It gets hellish in the team fights. It's so distracting. It's so annoying when you squishy supports. So, I mean, I think it would have been a better play for them to go with the Drow first, but because like Dota 2 Friends could pick up the Drow and then
they go for the Legion. Oh, they have to just pick Drow. Yeah, it's so good in lane against Legion as well. I don't know why
they will just hands down win this.
Yeah, I don't know why Dota 2 Friends let us through. They should have at least picked a counter or something. So maybe they just don't expect ZA Legends to go for it. They do pick it up.
They have to. I mean, obviously, like Dota 2 Friends went with the Legion thinking that, once we get to the mid game or whatever, we'll just send in the Legion, or Snapfire prioritizing the Agnum Scepter can just throw the Legion in and we can get the duel off. But a lot of
It's
things
such a
have to
hard
play
game.
around Legion to get the duel, to get the damage, or
Yeah.
everything. There's a lot that has to go right for the Legion to
Yeah.
enable her to kill. And again, yeah, Vinch. So
Yeah,
as soon as the throw comes out, he just swaps.
I've played as a matchup, Drow versus Legion, Legion versus Drow quite a few times on both sides, and I'll tell you one thing: I've never lost a lane against Legion, and I've never won the lane against Drow, or at least a competent Drow. I don't know, man. I've got a bad feeling about this Drow. I think if they don't address this in their next picks on the side of Dota 2 Friends, I think the Drow could be quite an issue.
It's going to come down to what SAL also pick up for their next pairing, because this is obviously the safe lane and you don't even mind giving it away at this stage because it's so strong. And Dota 2 Friends, we're pretty safe to say this is going to be the safe lane or the off lane combo for them.
Yeah. They could still go for something interesting and put the snap on 5 and maybe pick up a clock or a tiny, or just some position forward that can actually deal with the Drow. Maybe not in lane, but once they get like their ultis up or a few levels on the tiny, you just need like level 5 and you can basically solo kill people. I would like to see them maybe do something like that, because snap is not a good position for against Drow.
You have to be looking at banning like either burst damage or the team fight heroes, right? Which is something we do see from Dota 2 Friends. Banning out the Queen of Pain early, banning out the Zeus as well. So it is going to be the Nature's Prophet and the Viper ban for SA. Do you just pick up a Eldar Titan or something for SAL that just goes position 4 and it's just wrecking the lane?
DK does. I like the DK a lot actually, because when he goes into dragon form, he also benefits from the Drow aura, and it is that tanky frontlining hero that you need with a Drow.
It's the hero that can literally go off lane or mid lane now, so it's a very versatile pick for them.
They can even put a safe lane and put the Drow mid and then pick a different off laner, but that's maybe a bit too far ahead.
That's a bit risky. Like the Drow is very volatile in that mid lane, so you definitely don't want to.
It's also very mess with matchup for against the Legion, so they would want to take it against this Legion against.
Yeah. That is again assuming that the Legion is in the off lane again.
That's also true. We could see some sneaky support Legion. That would be very weird, but also interesting to see.
Like it's something that could also go mid, depending on the lineup that they do have. But they are going to go with the Dazzle.
Just
knowing that they. So, knowing that this, you could still pick up the axe, but then and put the Dragon Knight mid, and you're leaving the support as the last pick. That could be something. I'm not sure. You're obviously not going with the axe. It's way too. Maybe not revealing. They're gonna pick up the Undying. They get both the heroes they wanted. That's insane. They get both the heroes that work well with Drow. Both those heroes work well with Dragon Knight. So
yeah.
God,
what do you lane against that as well? If it is DK Undying. Like I guess I know some things, but they're not good against Drow. Maybe a PL?
Yeah, 5 seconds left now.
I'd say like probably PL, but you're not going to pick up PL now. You're probably going to pick up a mid. But if you pick up a mid now, the dire side's going to go, okay, well, we're assuming you want to go for the PL then. And that's...
They are picking both heroes now, I guess, so they do get to ban 2 heroes good against the PA in the mid lane. Well, that's a problem. We don't know if this is a mid or a off lane DK.
This has to be safe lane PA, because they have the Dazzle, and Dazzle is able to like keep her alive and also help with harassment. So obviously that level 1 is going to do a lot in the poison touch.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be like enough when the team fights start. It's a good lane. It's a very good lane. I don't think like Dragon Knight and Undying are gonna be able to contest as much as they want to, right? They do get the axe ban. That's weird. Are they assuming that this Dragon Knight's just going mid?
I think they maybe do, because if you actually think about it, DK doesn't have a lot of bad mid matchups, so they can put it mid and just pick an off laner that completely destroys PA. And at that point, they can basically almost, well, at least win 2 lanes and go even with DK, because, he doesn't lose lanes. They do ban
Like-
Invoke Storm. I don't think they're picking an offlaner here. Alk.
Come on,
So
Jack.
Alk is decent.
Pick it good.
It works well against Dragonite for the first few levels, but after that you're getting way too pressured. But this does mean that the Dazzle and Snapfire will have to look at stacking camps as well, maybe a bit, to give him the advantage when they do start fighting. But it's not like it was the previous game. Like the previous game, there was a lot of setup for Dota 2 Friends. There was a lot of follow-up. There was a lot of spell damage. There was a lot of burst from two of their heroes. Now they're kind of just going, if we have to make space for the Alchemist, we have to get the initiation. We have to get the pick-off. And it has to be something big. And it's not big when it's Vengeful Spirit. If it's not the Drow Ranger, it's still not really that much pressure for the side of the Dire. So
I like Ranger pick quite a bit, actually. What's your thoughts on his win pick, actually?
like, isn't Wind supposed to be the worst hero in the game right now?
Depends who you ask.
I guess, right? But
I mean,
like,
he rushes MKB though, right? So it's naturally good against PA. I think he should be
that
able
was
to
the biggest thing for them is, yeah, they have to like think twice before committing the Legion Commander duel. They have to think twice before jumping in with the Phantom Assassin. So definitely, I think the perfect pickup for them, exactly what they needed, works very well with the Drow. A bit squishy for them, where as soon as the Alchemist starts, doing what Alchemist's supposed to be doing. But you kind of have tankiness from the Dragonite and the Undying that can maybe frontline. But if this Alchemist and PA jump the backline, that's another thing, right? Dota 2 Friends have 3 heroes that can either initiate or just jump that back line. So this Drow Ranger should definitely probably be looking at picking up, that Shadow Blade early, maybe.
Yeah, or at least like rush the Hurricane Pike after like a Yash or something. Just something mobility wise that can just save her. But I don't think the game is 100% on the Drow. I think the Wind Ranger can have a pretty decent game. Just because they don't have a lot of magical damage on the side of Dota 2 Friends. Like the only real magical damage they have is the Legion Nuke and the Snapfire. Apart from that, literally everything is fizzle apart from that. Which, she doesn't really care a lot about with the Wind Run.
I mean, like, it's not going to be the big playmaker for them. I think it's more going to be, we should be, positioning correctly and making sure that the other team doesn't get the initiation or the pickoffs they want. But again, you're a bit more reactive. So it's going to come down to maybe like the Undying and the Dragonite's initiation and positioning for them. This Wind Ranger moving very deep past. What? Why would he put it there though?
I think it's to block the camp for the Alchemist. Maybe one of the supports just bought him a sentry early. A lot of what Alchemist gets out of the lane is to do with this to do with that camp there. So blocking it early,
but
a nuisance.
I think the big thing for me was the positioning of it, because if he positioned it a bit more to the
You
top,
wouldn't
that they're not really dewarding, and that the default ward is usually to the right hand side of the mid lane. A lot of people have opted to go left just because of that fact. So maybe taking that into consideration. Not a lot of contention, but down bottom though, Shiva is taking a bit of damage. They will get this on Plastic Fork. He doesn't move away immediately. He actually goes for the Phantom Strike. Is he lagging or something? He Phantom Strike
onto
where
the Dazzle.
he was, and now
Dazzle does go down for that, actually. They are actually trialing with this. I like this a lot. I like this a lot, actually. I don't think PA can handle this tri lane at all. Undying is a really good tri lane. And Venge as well. Like, he went for the Wave of Terror level 1. They can do a lot of damage in this. I like this a lot.
Like I said, I don't think anything can lane against this. You have the perfect combo of the Drow with Undying.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you want. It does seem like Venge is actually going to go for the rune. So you have the lineup, the perfect combo you want from the Undying and the Drow. And then you have the Venge that's also pressuring you. Dragonite, again, a hero that can do solos just because of the Dragon's Blood. He might look to pick up the Ring of Regen. I would have probably picked up a Ring of Regen just knowing that I'll be alone in this lane.
The Snapfire is actually TPing. So it is going to be a solo 1v1 top between the Legion and the DK. Which
Like
I think
shouldn't
he
be
should.
doing it, right?
Yeah, I think both heroes will just farm. But I'm not sure. Do you really want to try lane into an Undying? I mean, this is like
Yeah.
the god of tri lanes. The
That's
K
the thing I
is so
just wanted to
broken.
say. Like, the biggest thing for them, or the weakest thing for them, is being in the tri lane right now. They should have
Yes.
probably just gone for the dual lane, make sure they got their levels, and now you're tri laning. But the PA, if they pressure the lane, he can just farm under the tower the whole time as well.
I guess the good thing they have is no one on the side of Dota 2 friends can really dispel the poison touch, so they can just poison touch someone and hit him like 50 times and he dies. So they might have to be a bit careful, as we do see Undying's courier going down.
It's just a sentry
With
ward
the
though,
sentry
but it is giving them gold that they didn't want to give away. The Drow is not pressuring in this fight, but there again, like just that alone forces you back, and now you can put pressure on this PA. There's no healing coming out. If he's able to get the dirge off, the decay off again,
He's sitting on
Like-
20 decay sacks.
this is the only thing you have. You don't have stun from both your heroes. You only have the
Yeah.
slow. You have a bit of burst damage. I'll give them that with the Snapfire, but is it enough? Is it really enough to validate the fact that Snapfire had to rotate?
This Undying can literally just keep decaying and running at 3 heroes. Do you know how insane that is?
Like that's what he's doing now. He's 20 stacks, 24, and now he's just gonna right click. And now they could stun. No, there is no stun. They took Wave of Terror level 1. So still, look at that damage on Snapfire.
Yeah, he's... Even with just -4 decay, because he's a strength hero, it affects him so much. You know, his base damage goes down, his health goes down. Normally, Snap is quite tanky, but against his Undying and, you know, the Venge with the Wave of Terror, their supports can die really easily if they're not cautious.
And the mid lane's actually going really well for both sides. 9 and 3 on the Wind Ranger with the 8 and 4 on the Alchemist. So even for now, you do expect the Wind Ranger to maybe have a bit more of an advantage a bit later, but we'll have to wait and see what they do with it. DK on 7 and 6 versus the 5 and 0 for the Legion Commander. But you're not killing Legion Commander, and Legion Commander is not killing Dragon Knight. So down bottom, though, it will fall Shivas.
Skim.
Like, I don't think Power Rangers should be moving up to this anyway, even if the team fight starts. It puts her in a very difficult situation should they turn, but they will just move in. Go back to the lane.
The good thing though is Undying does come back with full HP, full mana, so he can just run at them again. Like, it's going to take them a while to actually like bring him down on mana, and by the time that happens, you know, he's so strong.
I think it was a bit of overcommitment from the Undying, maybe getting a bit cocky, understanding that, you know, if he just gets the decays off, but if he gets the decays off as he should be in the lane, he's obviously not dying to anything like that. Should get the decay here now, yep.
12 stacks, 1000 HP, nothing wrong here, Gaben. And if you look at top, actually, the DK has 2 points in Dragon's Blood, so... You know, this Legion's trying to trade with him, but he can literally trade a full wave and Legion at the same time.
They do get the decay off Phantom Assassin, but it is going to be a shadow wave in order to save.
Yeah.
Taking way too much damage. He did take down the Tombstone, but obviously not too worth, as the Dazzle is dropping low, does have that shadow wave. Like, just the shadow wave was enough to save this Phantom Assassin, and then they had the healing salve. But if they had if the Wave of Terror landed onto the PA a bit sooner, like 1 second sooner, and that zombie was able to do that extra bit of damage, maybe he would have been dead.
I must say one thing though, I like ZA Legends' draft a lot more this game. I think they came into it with a plan, and they executed a plan, and I still think, you know, look, they should win the lanes. Obviously, mid Alchemist, you know, it's not much you can do. He's going to have level 6 soon. But I think on the side of the Drow should get farmed, DK should get farmed. So I think they definitely have a good chance at just, you know, taking advantage of the Alk not having Radiance, as we do
Doing
see
a
this.
stun on the Vengeful Spirit, gonna have to use the Wave of Terror, but they just want to contest this Bounty Rune, and that is exactly what they achieve.
Yep.
That's the difficulty when you're playing with Undying in the lane with a tri-lane, is he needs to get like a few stacks off, right? It takes time for him to get those off. And if he's not getting those off, and you get the the initiation on a squishy target like Venge, he's not gonna make it.
Yeah. What do you think he's going to go next? Do you think he's going to go another point in decay, or he does go for Soul? Okay, I was just wondering.
I think it's at the stage where he has to. He identifies the damage that's coming out from the Phantom Assassin. So, well, not just that, like the Poison Touch and the Shockwave.
Yeah. And also the damage aspect, like, there's going to be most of the time 6 euros in his lane. That's a lot of Soul Rep damage with the creeps and stuff around.
Like, if he's able to land it on the Phantom Assassin like he wants to, yeah, 100%. And he has the decay. The decay is gonna, drop him low as well. So 38 and 7 on this Alchemist though, and
yeah, as much as his wind has tried to stop him, I don't know. They must have the water that's the water is blocking the camp. Can he actually do something to the?
He's gonna use the focus fire.
Away.
Yeah, the Shackle Shot was used and it didn't land on anything, so Tombstone being committed down bottom.
Yeah.
I think they expected to do a lot better, but the pull did come out from Venge first. So giving away all this gold.
Yeah, I think Radiant has played the safe lane actually really well. Like, the PA is actually, he's only 4 last hits behind the Drow, and in terms of XP, he's only half level behind.
But the Dragon Knight is pressuring up top, and they actually fortified to in order to. They should be able to get this PA maybe as well. If they no, Snapfire is there. If they probably jumped it earlier, it would have gone. But now Shiva, he's actually the one in a bit of trouble. Buckler is there. Vengeful Spirit is back in time.
I guess the good thing about the tri-lane is that it does leave the DK in a 1v1 situation where he has almost taken the tower already. So, if there was a support there, would he be able to do that? I don't think he would.
That's the very difficult thing about the DK. And Legion Commander is, again, they're not killing each other, but the Dragon Knight is putting pressure on the wave that the Legion kind of cannot counter or even like put his own pressure in the lane. If you compare the two, like Dragon Knight's obviously hands down better for the lane, but at what stage does he start helping his team out and making sure that this Drow's getting the farm that he needs?
I think what will probably happen is once he takes his tower, I think he will just go bottom, Drow will go top, start farming around the jungle area there, playing safe, and then they might just start playing around as DK, who... Let's actually have a look at the net worth. He's not that farmed actually, he's a bit behind the PA.
There's going to be the duel coming out down bottom. Daunt's going to be used. They really want to kill this Drow Ranger. Snapfire does use the stun. They do use the Scatter Blast as well. Shiva is dropping low. They're actually blocking him. Does use the dagger to slow up. They will use the jump. They're trying to give it to the PA and will get it in the end.
Yeah,
will be.
The Legion, he rushed Blink. He's got 8-minute Blink. I actually like that.
Not even boots.
Oh, you just need Blink, get Blink, go gank Drow, easy game.
But is it, I mean, like you have the Wind Ranger, you're going to lose your tower up top right now because the Dragon Knight does have Dragon form. Wind Ranger is still pressuring where she shouldn't be.
I guess the good thing, even though they're losing the tower, it's not that a huge tower to lose. If this was mid or the bottom tower falling this early, they'd be a bit stressed about it. But who's going to stop the Legion from farming here? I don't think.
The other thing though is the Roshan contention, because now you don't have that, vision of the wave. Maybe your wave pushes in too far. If you're on the Radiant side. Yeah, mid lane is hands down more important. But if you're on the Radiant side, I'd say that's probably your second priority for the tower. But doesn't seem like Dota 2 friends care.
Yeah. After taking that tower, the DK is actually up there in net worth. I guess that's a problem with rushing Blink, right? You can't really trade at all. Not that you can trade with the DK, but as we actually see, it looks like they might try to. Oh, they're not going to go for the dive at bottom, but they will try to put pressure with.
Yeah, they like the wards scouted it out as well. However, this Dazzle is taking way too much damage. There is the Tombstone being committed, but you probably should just back out here. The Drow Ranger has level 6, Wind Ranger has level 6, and the tower will just fall, right?
Yeah,
Does miss the decay.
I think they spotted the Snapfire actually TPing away, and then they just decided, you know, with 3 heroes, they can't be 3 heroes here unless they rotate Alchemist or something. So it's just a free tile for him, and you know, taking this tower is really good for him because it opens up a lot of space on the bottom half of the map for him.
I think especially with the fact that they willingly gave up that top tower for a kill. Now,
it's worth
looking
it.
back, it's definitely not worth it for the Radiant side to just have gotten that one pick off. Now the Dire are like, okay, well, you made your play, but what did you accomplish with it? They don't even pressure this mid lane. So the Wind Ranger rotated actually down bottom, but the mid lane's wasn't contested in that time.
They can actually take it now with the catapult. They have DK ulti as well. You know, Alchemist, he's still quite a while away from the Radiance. I don't think there's much you can do to defend this.
They have the Soul Rip as well in order to heal anyone. They do commit the ultimate from Alchemist. Decay is going to be used. And now the Tombstone. You can't defend this, right? Snapfire is going to try. Does use the Soul Rip a bit too early, but is going to be stunned up. You probably just die. Now Alchemist. Do they have the Shackle Shot? They do. I would have just committed it there. But then again, that's why I'm a bad Wind Ranger.
True, same.
Like if it did land on the tree though, like Alchemist dies, the Dragon's Breath was up, you had the Dragon's Tail, even though he didn't have enough mana for both.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at a Drow strat here, 12 minutes in, 3 towers down, or almost. It should be 3 towers down. They don't have level 6 on Snap yet. I don't see why they should even try and defend this. I think PA should.
I don't know why they were even hanging around for that. They should have just pushed the other side of the map, pushed down bottom lane, try and maybe get the pick off on Drow.
Yeah, because while all that was happening, Drow was just farming. He's now almost got his Dragon Lance up, and even though he did have that death against the Legion, he's now completely caught up to the PA, and he naturally farms quite fast. So,
I think your biggest problem is catching up with the Alchemist.
Yes.
Because it's not a thing that Drow could do, so you kind of have to go.
Just pressure.
Is he going MKB? Is he going like obviously now something when you're this far ahead, or when you're I don't know, like let's say on the front foot because you're not that far ahead, right? So do you just go, okay, we're not picking the Shadow Blade, we're just going with more big damage items?
Yeah. And it's also like, look at his DK, right? How does his DK actually die if it's not to a Snapfire ulti? Like, he can just sit at top and just defend his tower with his life, and he should be able to do a good job at it. As we do actually see the Wind Ranger rotating onto the Alchemist here, but the Alchemist is just turning onto them.
Yeah, it didn't land the Shackle Shot, and then they had the Mortimer's Kisses.
Yeah, and
so
he doesn't have Javelin yet either, so he doesn't do a lot of damage with Focus Fire yet.
Yeah, probably should not have rotated there. Shiva's also will fall, and that is... that's them throwing away the lead that they had quite fast, though, because it was Alchemist also getting the kill. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing about Wind Ranger is if you miss that Shackle Shot, it's so difficult for you to get out of that position because you were going for the solo pick-off. You were the one initiating. You knew that there was no one around. And if you miss that shot,
you're in some trouble.
You're done.
Especially with the Snapfire being there. I don't know if he maybe didn't spot the Snapfire there because the Snapfire was playing in the trees. But I think the Snapfire was doing the right thing there. You know, Alk was a bit far up, but with a Snapfire behind him, he can be. Just because if it's only one person rotating, they can actually turn on it.
I think the biggest thing that the Wind Rangers should keep in mind the whole time is the position of this Legion commander.
Yeah,
like you're not going for the pickoffs if you don't see the Legion commander somewhere, and he wasn't. Could be speaking under correction, but he wasn't visible in the bottom lane yet. It was the PA that was visible in the bottom lane that was pushing there. And then they actually get the kill on the Undying, and it's a dual kill.
Yeah, he didn't actually get damage from it though, but at least the PA was there, so the PA did also get the XP from it and did get a syscall as well. So I can't even check fight but I think that like in general, the last 30 seconds or so was really good for the side of Dota 2 Friends.
Definitely, it's them bringing the game to like even if you don't get the Legion duel, it's the fact that the PA can farm bottom safely again, because now Drow's definitely not going to be pressuring that lane. It's the fact that the top lane can push in because of that kill on the Wind Ranger that you just got there, and now they have to be defending. They have to send 2 or 3 heroes top. They have to put pressure on mid still, because you could be taking mid anytime with Alchemist now. If the Alchemist just pushes, then they pretty much done for.
Yeah. And we do also actually see the DK picking up the Blade Mail. He's sending it on Courier now. And I actually like that. It's kind of a weird item on DK to get, but I like it this game just because the only way he really dies is to Snapfire ulti. And if he just Blade Mails through it,
I think not just that, he's just making sure that he's not being targeted by the Wind Ranger. He's making sure that he's not, because MKB does a ton of damage on that Wind Ranger. So he's just making sure that he's not the one that gets targeted for it. Now, okay, Shiva, you're taking way too much damage there. The Alchemist actually has the Radiance, and I don't think he was prepared for that. The Shackle Shot again does not land, so the Alchemist will just be able to use the Chemical Rage and move out. Doesn't get the Tombstone, but they're not getting anything else for this either. Just get the stun off on the Snapfire. They're looking to commit on this. There's way too much damage on the Snapfire, but they should just back off. You guys should not be doing this. Okay, Snapfire should probably not have moved in there. Legend, Skim does fall. Snapfire actually gets both of the ruins. At this stage, it's 100% fine for them.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they get the runes, and they got another kill on the Alchemist. The Alchemist actually got the kill on the Wind Range there. And as fast as a Drow farms, you can only farm the jungle as fast as you can. The Legion was actually playing a lot off map. So the Legion was playing off map, so he actually couldn't farm the waves. So even though he's been kind of alone but he's still behind us, PA, who does actually have Desolator coming on Courier. This is a very big timing for the side of Radiant, and I think they will start to pressure just about all of ZA Legends' tower right now as we see.
He's going to come in. Shackle Shot is going to be used. He does have the Chemical Rage, but he's taking way too much damage now. Shiva will fall. The swap does come in, but it swaps him away as the duel has to use the second swap. Taking way too much damage, has to use Wind Run as well just to survive, and now Mortimer's Kisses is there. They're looking to get the kill onto the Wind Ranger. Not doing too much to the rest, but Big Daddy has to move out as well. Adam, Alchemist is there. They want to get the kill onto anything right now because they're all so low on the Dire side.
Venge will just go down, yeah.
Dazzle is dropping low, but they will get this tower.
Dazzle actually saved the Alchemist there. I think that's
twice.
Wasn't much of a fight because they only got the Venge and they only got the Venge from it. So, but
well, they're pressuring the tower. They should get the tower as well. They're actually looking to get another kill. PA can do it. He does have the Desolator, taking way too much damage. Is going to be able to use the cookie to stun him up as well. And now it's the duel. Do they have enough damage? The Blade Mail is actually doing way more.
The Blade Mail.
Dragon
Knight wins. The Legion doesn't want to go down like that. Why?
You do not want to give away the victory there, the victory of the duel there. So
in mid lane, the Dazzle actually went down to the Undying, Venge, and the Wind Ranger. As we do see, he is building towards that MKB right now, and when he does get it, I think he does become a lot stronger. It's the Drow actually. Oh, that was so close, dude.
That would have been insane for them. There's 2 heroes on the Radiant side that are actually going for this Shadow Blade. Seems
a bit sus.
Yeah, that's a bit sus, as the Alchemist does pick up his. So Legion Commander, I don't think you should be going for that, right? It's sort of the in-out thing, but your support should be, giving you a 4-star for something for your in-out movements. But
I guess
Dota 2
he's actually changing to a Blade Mail.
And the BKB, so he wants to get this duel on the Wind Ranger, and if Wind Ranger takes just a bit more, he is gonna jump him. Snapfire's here as well. His Mortimer's Kisses is up. There is going to be jump. The duel. Mortimer's Kisses is going to be enough. The stun now from the Legion. But he does get the win. That he does use. Alright. Rotten is taking way much damage from now, Cookie. And the PA actually jumps in onto this DK. Desolator doing a lot of damage. Is going to crit. He does get the stun off for now. Alchemist has to move in, but he does have extra movement speed. We'll try and save him, Shiva, but now he's just dropping low, and it's a mega kill for the Alchemist. You guys got nothing for those.
They definitely weren't ready to take that fight. Like, the Alchemist is almost double the net worth of the next hero on the side of ZA Legends, and this PA as well. He's really starting to get quite fun. He's working toward his BKB. You know, he has level 14, 2 points in crit. And did the Drow leave there, or did they just push without them?
So Drow was part of it, but as soon as the initiation came in, I think he knew that.
Yeah,
but it makes sense, right? They should not have been there. Like, Wind Rangers should not be using the Wind Run with the ult if they don't scout out the heroes. Obviously, she was afraid of getting jumped, but if you know that they have it, even after you just use the Wind Run, you don't stick around for that. You move away again, because you know that you don't have Wind Run up, and that's exactly why you use the Wind Run.
Exactly.
So now they're just going to do it anyway.
The problem that's also facing ZA Legends right now is they have 3 cores that want to be pressuring the map. Whereas the side of Dota 2 Friends, you know, they have Alchemist, they have PA, they are content with farming, but you know, once they hit like 6 items on the Alch and 6 items on the
bottom, though,
do anything about it.
There's a Spirit Vessel actually on the Dazzle, taking way too much damage, but the Deton on the Alchemist able to get the kill. The Tombstone, the Soul Rip was actually able to help keep the DK alive, and then getting the kills.
Yeah,
double kill for them.
The double got onto the 2. The Alchemist couldn't get his ult off, and the Dazzle couldn't save him. As we actually see up top, the Legion and the Snapfire taking out the Wind Ranger again. This.
It is a Legion win. Legion did get the duel win, and that's probably bigger for them. But the bottom kill, the Alchemist.
Yeah, it is.
Drow, it was a lot better for the Drow, and they're pressuring this tower now, but still, you shouldn't be dying up top solo.
Yeah. Like, the problem is, I don't see them still getting anything from this. Like, Alchemist is still going to be up. Alch has his BKB now. I don't see the side of ZA Legends taking. I don't see how they can take a good fight unless they get a big silence on the Dazzle again. But Alch has his BKB now. He can just. If he does get silenced, he can just BKB and ulti if he did an ulti before.
And you want to know what's the other thing they have? The Snapfire Ags.
They do.
He didn't even wait for his own from.
It's the same as last. It's the same as last game. And
like, you can throw in the Alch, you can throw in the Legion, you can throw in the PA, because it means that whatever they had as the initiation is now their escape tool. And
or they counter initiation.
So definitely, and then obviously you throw them in, and then you have Mortimer's Kisses. This hero is just broken, I think.
Yeah, and they almost have BKB on there as well. What did they actually do to the BKBs? They're not really close to the MKB on Wind Ranger, and Drow isn't. He is actually almost on farm with the PA, but this Alch, he's how do they kill him?
It was that point where I mentioned the whole front foot, not exactly being in the lead, but just being in the front foot, tippy-toeing in the lead, and you had to extend on that, but Alchemist was able to get his farm. Yeah. Now it's a lot more difficult for you, but obviously if they do get the silence and stuff off, he does have the BKB. So now it gets difficult for the point of you have to force him to use the BKB, and then after that you have to sit around and take damage.
Yeah, or you just have to try and kite it. I guess they can kind of kite it with Wind Ranger, but the problem is the Legion, right? If Legion catches either the Drow or the Wind, I don't think he'll save him. As we do see this Undying. He was
even under the tower. It was just they set it up with a good smoke, and he was alone. He was alone for too long, and the Venge was not in range to swap.
As
And actually get the kill for the vitality booster.
The axe, that's insane. They just caught a glimmer of the drow top, and the Snapfire just ate the alchemist while he was like channeling unstable concoction, threw him onto the drow, and they just chain stun him to death.
Like Mortimer is the biggest
They didn't even
nuisance in
Mortimer.
the game.
They just gobbled.
No, I'm saying he's the one that gobbles him. So
Okay, yeah, I see.
yeah, the old lady's not the hero; it's the dragon,
True.
man. The dragon does everything. Speaking of dragons, this Dragon Knight has the Heaven's Halberd now, but I don't know if it's gonna change for them. Like it'll change for maybe like the Legion. PA has BKB, Alchemist has BKB, so.
I guess the good thing with DK this game is he doesn't have to go any damage items because he has a drow. So he's mostly going to try and fight around his ulti anyway. So when he is ultied up, he will do quite a bit of damage with the drow. But again, if this Legion catches anyone, how do they actually stop it? Yeah, they have swap, but after that, they have so much backline catch on the side of on Dota 2 Friends. This PA. The Gobble, they have the Legion with the Blink, as we do see the Gobble going through mid, Alchemist onto the DK, and this is what we mean, like...
And the Legion actually getting the duel off as well. DK dropping very low, they don't even care that he's that tanky. Now they have to run away, PA can still jump. I'm just going to pressure the tower now.
Maybe on Alchemist, they still have it, and they should just walk into Rush right now. With this Deso and the Alchemist acid spray, they should be able to take it quite fast. And the Deso as well.
Shouldn't they just go for the mid tower first, though?
Yeah.
This Dazzle is... You're in a scary position, my friend. Will get silenced up, is taking a lot of damage with the slow.
Yeah, that's just... You need to play around your team when you're doing a Rush like that, because they know on the side of ZA Legends that they are walking into Rush and they're going to take it now. So he was a bit out of position there.
Like Dota Friends was like, okay, we're gonna send the Dazzle the other way and distract them, and then go Roche.
Yeah, but
they could still move in though.
The BKB is actually on cooldown on PA, but it doesn't. Yeah, they're just putting the wind range at bottom. They're not looking to contest this. But on your point earlier, as to why they didn't push the tier 2, with taking Aegis first, it makes taking that tier 2 a lot easier, right? I mean, you can literally just walk up there with the Aegis and kill it. Whereas if you don't have it, they're busy respawning, glyphs happen, and they might actually be able to defend it, and then they don't even get rush for it. So that's what always with my team, if we're playing and there's a choice between either tier 2 mid or the rush, we always go for the rush first, if we can take it fast enough, of course.
But it took them a while to do it though, so they're pretty, I guess, lucky on that. But I mean, the Dazzle distraction did help for that as well.
Yeah, it did help. Yeah.
One for the Roshan straight, but I mean, the damage is there from the Alkan PA again. You can't take it with the hero you have. Like the Undying is not too tanky, so
they might scout this. They're gonna scout this double damage out on the Alk. They're not. It's right there. No one's gonna get it. Well, they're just gonna set up for bottom. PA BKB is back up. The Legion actually has a Monkey King Bomb up, and we do see the Dazzle going for a Vessel, which is obviously pretty good against the DK, and the Undying as well.
Yeah, like the only thing that's keeping them alive right now is their front line. So Shackle Shot gonna go out, doesn't land, and now he gets dueled for it. Will fall. Dazzle is going to use the Shallow Grave, Shiva's.
But again,
Big Daddy.
Quite a lot of damage.
Will pop that Aegis, but Snapfire does get the stun off with the cookie to follow up as well. Jar Ranger will fall. Jimmy is getting healed up by Shiva's. That's a dieback from him. That's definitely not worth it, as Jimmy does fall anyway, and now the Vengeful Spirit. I mean, Vengeful Spirit did get the kill off Adam, and it was a buyback for him.
It was.
You spent 2 buybacks. One just dies instantaneously. You're gonna lose the tower here.
And I mean, the problem, right, is they were busy losing that fight even without the Alchemist there. Like, the Alchemist was busy getting the runes top. He only TP'd in and came a bit late, and they were busy losing that fight without the Alchemist there. And they used 2 buybacks. At least the bench didn't go down, but
Like that again. That's the thing that makes Wind Rangers so bad. That's another dieback, but it's the fact that you threw out the shackle shot and you threw it out blindly because you have to do something.
I'm guessing you watched Slax's video, right?
Well, no, I've always hated Wind Ranger.
Oh, okay.
Even, like, it's one of the heroes that was just for me, just for the same, most of the same reasons he did mention, but it's just the positioning has to be perfect. Like a good Wind Ranger is a good Wind Ranger. I'll give them.
True. But even the good Wind Rangers, you're not guaranteed to hit that shackle shots. And if you don't hit it, you know, that's your only disable. So we do see the sun coming onto the PA. They can actually bring this PA down, but
see the tombstone, and there is going to be the BKB used, and it's way too much damage going on to
way too much damage.
Drow Ranger. He's walking back though, the Undying keeping him alive. Snapfire does throw in the Alchemist.
Yeah. Is he going
still
to
taking way too much damage? He just needed one more crit, and
but they do get it with the Alchemist. This Alchemist is going to go down, yeah.
Sapphire will heal him up a bit. You have to get the stun off now, but it is going to be the Legion duel! They don't get the shackle shot!
How am I going to win, Ranger?
Legion on 110, you're doing way too much damage. Shivas, you're taking way too much damage. Big Daddy now. There's going to be the swap as well. They don't have the stun to follow up, but there does seem to be enough damage. Shallow Grave going to be able to save him. He's going to use the Shadow Wave as well. We'll try and get all the damage they want, but...
yeah.
Shivas should still fall here, right? Poison Touch? No.
I guess the redeeming side for the side of Dota 2 Friends is they did get the Raxus, and they did force another buyback onto the Wind Rangers. So with the
it is the Wind Ranger. It's a very big hero for them. So
as long as they get the Drow with the next push, like what's stopping them? As long as they just kill the heroes, they should have buybacks at that point. As we just said, Alchemist actually picks up a Moon Shard, and this Wind Ranger might be in some trouble.
Now there's not enough mana for the Unstable Concoction, so you're taking damage from Radiance in Windrun, though. You should not do that. He's moving up. Why?
Alchemist?
What? Why the Alchemist?
So anyway, if we look at bottom moon, there's actually an arcane rune there.
I mean, Undying probably wants to take that, but
he stayed too long there. I feel like he just should have gotten out there. You know, he popped the BKB. You know.
I think he did realize that there was no one around, and if he did move, try and move to the Radiant jungle, that the Wind Ranger was just going to follow him.
Yeah.
And he didn't have mana for the Unstable Concoction, so he was just dead there.
Yeah, but couldn't he just have BKB TP? Like, he was BKB'd and he had gold with mana for TP.
It did use the BKB when he moved down and then he moved back up because he was still taking way too much damage with the MKB. And yeah, that was a bit weird, maybe a bit greedy.
But I mean, still, they are 25k ahead. You know, the PA did pick up the Satanic. The Legion is queuing up BKB also, so he's going for BKB of his own. The
Snake a Butterfly on the Drow Ranger. I don't know about that.
Yeah. The problem is, the way I look at it, I don't think there's any defensive items you can go that's actually going to save him.
He's gonna get jumped here. The Legion does not get the duel off yet, but the blink is there. The silence now. Manta Style gonna be used as well, but the Snapfire does move in. Shivas is here to save him, but it's not in time. And now he will just fall with the duel.
Yeah, the Undying is... this Legion is hitting like a truck right now. He's hitting for 300 and he gets Monkey. As we see the...
bottom lane. They do have the Heaven's Halberd now on the Alchemist. They want to run away. The Unstable Concoction is there, but they're going to be able to get the stun.
He simply doesn't care about the trade now.
Jimmy, he does stun the Legion. The duel was already off cooldown, but it doesn't matter. And top tower will fall. Snapfire will push there. They'll probably push. They don't even need to push bottom.
They can just go straight for in actually, because they don't have any buybacks on the side of. Is it a legend? They do have on the Dazzle, but what's the Dazzle really going to do? They do go for the save box.
Dazzle's on the side that's pushing anyway, so he doesn't care.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
They don't have any buybacks for the Dire side. I think this is just because if the Undying moves in, he is gonna He's just going to die. They're just going to jump in.
Yes.
PA, Legion. You guys need to just give this up, which is not optimal considering you've already given up 1 Rax.
To be honest, I don't think
And the duel does come out. They do have the tombstone though, but it's going to
safe
have enough
battle.
damage with the shallow grave.
and
Will
PM
probably
might
fall
be
still, yeah.
Oh,
Drow Ranger does buy
I think
back,
it-
yeah.
no, he didn't die.
Wait, he didn't die. It
He
was the
didn't die.
illusion. But he's gonna die. Oh no! Is the satanic he's on cooldown? Drow Ranger didn't have any items now. There's a very good shackle shot, but it is the Heavens Halbert. And you, my friend, do not have PKP. The Drow Ranger is going to be able to buy back now, doing a lot of damage onto the PA. The PA is there as well. They do have the Frost Dragon.
Should be going.
Does have that Blade Mail as well. There's
He maybe left there with the magic wand and then satanic. But I think even if he did pop it, it would have been really close. They don't see him.
Sapphire could have probably just stayed around a bit more. He could have saved you. He could have used Mortimer's Kisses.
He could have. He was actually a bit low in mana. When like before all those things happened. So,
They don't have the Rax mix, so it's
that's kind
It's
of a weird
weird.
one.
but they should just be able to pressure this. The Alchemist is not the one
Yeah.
that died. He's going for the VOTs. Does have that Assault Curse as well, so he's not going down anytime soon, and he is going to hit every time he's there.
And like all those things happen, you know, with the Drow buyback, and like the big fight happening there. Without the Alchemist there, where was the Alchemist? Come to think about it, or did he just back out when they started diving? Interesting. Anyway, we do see Legion getting the rune bottom, and Venge is trying to deward that jungle area there, as we do see
We do damage up top, but
the Drow is actually starting to do a lot of damage with his multi-shot right now. But it's the same thing, right? If he gets caught by the PA, gets caught by the Legion, even
he just gets stunned up by the Mortimer.
yeah, even if he just gets caught by the Alchemist, like Alchemist has Abyssal, like all 3 of Radiant's cores can kill this Drow.
And he has a Shadow Blade, which makes
Yeah.
it that much more dangerous because he can position and then get the kill. Legion is a bit dangerous right now, but they will
Yeah.
move up on mid, so he's fine. He wanted to get the pick off on top, and he probably would have if the Vengeful Spirit moved like 2 or 3 steps closer, but
I'm actually interested to see if they're gonna go for the smart play and go for Rosh. They are going for Rosh, okay. Because they can either take Rosh and just push, or they can go push. I think taking Rosh is always a bit safer though.
especially for them in this position, knowing that the damage that the Dire side is doing is kind of terrifying.
Yeah. As we do actually see the Wind Ranger, he's bringing down this Dazzle, but the save with the cookie, the talent.
Oh no,
And
they
the
do
grab
actually
one?
throw him in! But the
has
Aeon
an
Disc
Aeon
is going to be able to save, but they do get the stun up again after that. You don't have the Wind Run and the credits to be able to secure the kill, and now Skim.
And Undying is going to go down as well, but the silence does come through with the BKB. He should be able to...
He does get the duel onto the Trail Ranger. And now Mortimer's Kisses is going to be able to secure a lot of damage for them. Maybe they should have thought about getting a different
Yeah.
item for them. But they will fall. Tombstone is still there. It does go down now.
Yeah, it's just
Dragon
really...
They should have probably had a pipe for this dire side, but the Shiva will fall. And that's the dieback from the dragon. They wanted to give him the rampage.
With the poison touch actually got it, and with the vessel. Not like
No
the...
rampage for you, bro.
He's cool.
That is going to be game number 2.
I
Going
think
in the favor.
ZA Legends played a lot better early game and mid game this game. I just think, you know, it was the same issue as last game where when they did have the upper hand, they started taking, you know, these bad fights, and then the Alchemist got online, the PA got online, and then by that point, you know, they needed to end this quite early because
For them, it gets to the positioning of after the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
Or like for them, I think it gets they start doing these or giving away these pickoffs after 15 minutes, and it just destroys the lead that they had. I don't know why they think that they should be, solo pushing lanes with heroes
Yeah.
that can get picked off at that stage, because it's after the 10-minute mark.
And the Wind Ranger dying top to the Alchemist and the Snapfire gave the Alchemist his Radiance basically. And then after that, Alchemist started farming fast. They kind of like misplayed their lead there, but because they took basically all three outer towers, right? All three tier threes, tier one, sorry, and then they were in the lead, but then they just started making a few bad decisions. But I do definitely think the draft was a lot better, and the way they executed the early game was a lot better as well.
So that's Dota 2 and Friends taking the second victory, guys. This is going to be an insane tournament, so I hope you guys stick around to watch the rest. And yeah, just thanks for tuning in.
Awesome stuff. Good cast there, guys, and a good match. Well done.
And well done to Dota 2.
That was lots of fun.
Yeah.
And well done to Fire for keeping me busy during this time. That was a lot of fun, Fire.
I thank you as well, my friend.
That was good. But yeah, as you said, Dota 2 Friends taking that victory and continuing their upper bracket run here. So ZA Legends just going to have to do a bit of a climb in that lower bracket.
We'll have to see what they bring out. I think it's a big experience for them, especially knowing that they're going into the lower bracket. Understanding for them, it's literally those decisions that they make where they give the pickoffs. It's literally if they can work around those and putting pressure on the map when they do have the lead. Change from, we have to maybe send someone top to defend the lane because they're pushing. Change that mentality to let's just all rock up bottom and take that tier 2.
Because game 1 they also had that problem where they sent the shaman to solo go plant his wards on a tower, and it's the same concept, right? But it's like if you're pushing like that, and you have a team like sort of built around pushing, you need to do it together. Otherwise, the other team will just either A, outfarm you, or B, they will just outfight you because you're not together.
100%. I think, look, from ZA Legends side, they had a strong early game. I mean, I really enjoyed that tri lane. For me, that was a very standout play coming from them. I think, because it's a tri lane and the meta is kind of a bit tough on tri lanes, it did fall off a little. Maybe they should have switched it up a bit. They could have maybe sent the Drow top just once that got that top tower and then just rotated with the DK.
That's what I suggested as well.
I think the biggest thing for them was knowing that you're playing against the Alchemist in mid, and then you want to tri lane. That's probably not the most. I think we were all excited in the beginning because this Drow has the 2 heroes that she lanes with perfectly, but I don't think we were taking into consideration how quickly you fall off when you have to farm against an Alchemist, and now you're in a tri lane. That's 100% not optimal. You should have thought about that and just maybe sent the Venge up top.
Venge just I actually think if they just played the lanes normally, well, firstly the Legion would have got a lot less farm. I think the Drow actually would have gotten more because they would have absolutely dominated that top lane. And
if the Venge was top,
PA still got farm out of the safe lane despite being against an undying Venge tri lane.
Yeah. Look,
So
I like the fact with the draft from ZA Legends, even though there was an Elk, that huge amounts of physical damage can just absolutely outpower an Elk, even when he gets 6-slotted. Obviously Elk thrives off that lead. But with that amount of physical damage, you always have a game, even if it's late game. Unfortunately, they didn't get there.
The Wind Ranger was obviously, as we mentioned, a good pickup for them. It's just when you can't execute the Wind Ranger as it's supposed to be, and when you're making the mistakes of using the Wind Run with the ultimate on a tower, and then as soon as the Wind Run is off, you don't move away, you just give away the kill. Yeah, you just give away the Legion dual kill. That's a very big mistake that you make when you do that. If you're picking a Wind Ranger that's already supposed to fill this huge role for your team, you should not be giving away those kinds of kills.
100%. And I think with that, guys, I think we are going to be closing out the stream. So just a quick shout out to the sponsors for this event, Fine Tech and Rebel Gaming. They're putting up some awesome prizes for these teams to play for. And shout out to everyone that tuned in to watch this match. And as always, thank you Fire and Red for casting that match.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy the night. We'll see you guys the rest of the week.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here, and yeah, shout out to Rebel Gaming and Fad say, dude, with the cases and that coming through, I know a lot of the Oaks are very hard for that, and can't wait to see what the rest of the tournament holds for us.
Awesome stuff, guys. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch you guys on, if I'm not mistaken, Wednesday. So thanks, and we'll see you then.
Peace.
Cheers.